The minimum wage in America would need to be $66 an hour to have the same buying power that the dollar had back in the 80s. You're lucky if you could go on Indeed anymore and find a job that offers more than $18 to $19 an hour. People are out here kicking into the towel, not seeing the point in doing this anymore because they realize that there's no point and they've been scammed out of their life, and they realize that their time is more valuable than money. Some of us don't want to wait until retirement age, until our bodies and our spirits are too old and broken down to even enjoy life, just to look back and see all we did the last 45 years of our lives was clocked in and went to work. Money isn't even everything anymore, yet they have all of us brainwashed into believing chasing that next dollar is more important than caring for each other. You're out here spending your entire life trying to make money that you can't even keep because after you pay all your bills and shit, it's all gone. And once you realize all of this is a scam, that's when the true freedom comes in.
Yeah, it really is a scam, not gonna lie. Like as someone in Gen Z, whenever I like see videos talking about how the money and like the buying power of the dollar was in the past, it just demotivates me crazy because like now because of inflation and everything being so expensive, cost of living being crazy, but wages also not increasing to keep up with that, it just kind of like puts you in a state of mind where it's like you feel no purpose in doing anything anymore because you feel like you are at a loss. You feel like it's impossible. There's no point in doing it because society wants you to like work and work and work and work. They want you to make your life your job and take pride in that. But it's like your job can't even help you sustain a living, like having a home, nothing, nothing, nothing. You know what I mean? It's like it's not enough to even be worth it at that point where the cost of living and the wages, the gap between both are just completely out of touch and impossible for many people. And lots of people who survive right now, they have multiple sources of income. You know what I mean? It's like it's just everyone's messed up right now because the economy is so bad.
Yeah, no, the average Gen Z worker would have to save 100% of their income for over 8 years just to afford their first home. No rent, no groceries, no emergencies, no life. That stat alone should end the conversation about discipline and start a conversation about feasibility. This isn't about budgeting. It's not about, oh, just don't get your Starbucks coffee. It's about antiquated math that doesn't work anymore. Homeownership used to be a milestone you worked toward. Now it is quite literally a fantasy that only makes sense if you have family wealth, perfect timing, or a lot of help. But no, obviously the problem is with us. It's our mindset, not the market. Can we please stop pretending this is normal? It's literally just dishonest.
Yeah, like it's impossible. You hear that? You got to save your paycheck for 8 years to get a house. But back in the day, say college, right? You can pay, or back in the day, you could have paid for college working a part-time job. You know what I'm saying? And then when it comes to supporting a full like family of four, you could supply that off of one paycheck. That's why stay-at-home moms were like so common before because you could do that off of one paycheck. You know what I mean? Off of the dad working crazy. But nowadays, the cost of living has increased so much. It's like it's impossible. You know what I mean? It's just it all makes no sense.
Good news! The median age for a U.S. homebuyer is now 59 years old. You'll pay off your 30-year mortgage at the ripe, wrinkly age of 90. But on the bright side, the average age for a new hire is much younger, coming in at a youthful 42 years old in 2025. But on the bright side to that prior bright side, the share of workers aged 25 and younger dropped from a whopping 15% to a whopping 9%. So if you're under the age of 25,
You're fucked. Just give up on life completely.
Yeah, you hear that? The average age to get your house now is 59 years old. You pay it off at 90 years old. Median like life is like 60 or 70 years old, you know what I mean? And also when it comes to jobs, bro, I've been trying to find a part-time job. It's like impossible, I swear. Nobody ever responds. Like I don't know if it's just me or if it's like something going on at the moment, you know what I mean? Because I've only lived in my moment or like, I've only lived in the present. So I don't know. That's just something I struggle with.
The Gen Zers need higher pay. Why? Because of rent. The asking rent in most cities in America is $2,000, and a lot of landlords require 3x the income to qualify. So if you're coming in paying $25 an hour, that's not even enough. That's $52,000 a year. That's $4,333 a month. They don't make enough to qualify. If they're lucky to find a landlord that's going to do 2x, fantastic, they qualify, but then that's 46% of their gross income on rent. You can't do that. And after taxes, you're walking with $3,400 take home. That'd be 59% of your take home pay for rent. They can't afford afford it on $25 an hour. So they have to get a roommate. And if you get a roommate, it's $1,000. Now you're around 29% of your income, which is still a lot. So for the businesses, the corporations, we have to stop blaming the Gen Zers and the millennials who are asking for $25, $30, $35, $40 an hour. That's what they need to live. It is not their fault that the rent prices are this high. It's not their fault the housing prices are this high. It's not their fault that the government decided to rack up $38 trillion of debt and spend $1 trillion a year on interest payments, where that could have gone back to the people to make housing affordable. But no. So we have to stop giving them shit. It's not their fault. They just graduated into this bullshit. Don't think that they want 25 or 30 an hour because they want to drive a Lamborghini to work. No, they just want to qualify for an apartment.
Yeah, like that's true. Like, so for me, I live in California, crazy, crazy high cost of living. And like, if you want to go out, get food or anything, like you're guaranteed to spend at least like 20 to $40, I'm not gonna lie. If you only get food, like if I go get some Chipotle, that's like $15, you know what I'm saying? But like, if you're going a full out day, maybe go to the mall or something, when you get boba, yada yada yada. Boba here is like $5 on the low end. Like on the high end, it's like $8. It's crazy out here. Like, it's actually bad. But they did make the minimum wage for fast food jobs 20 now. But even then, it's like 20 compared to the federal minimum wage. That's 7.25. That's a crazy increase. You know what I mean? But the cost of living here is so like high, where it's still not even like good as, or it's still not high enough to sustain living. You know what I mean? Because a full-time job should be able to support you. You know what I mean? That's the point. Full time. If it's your full-time thing, then you wouldn't have, like, the idea of full time, it takes up most of your time, so that should be able to sustain your life. You know what I mean? That should be able to sustain your home, groceries, yada yada yada, because it's full time. You're not, like, if it was part time, then you should be able to do, like, you should be doing other stuff. But if it's full time, then that's taking full of your time. You know what I mean? That should be the main thing. So how is it not able to support, like, what you need to survive? You know what I'm saying? But if you guys disagree, if you guys agree, let me know down in the comments what you guys think. But yeah, that's just my take on this. Peace.